It's now my honor to present our honorary degree recipient. May I ask you to direct your attention to the video screens.
Hello, I'm Judy Woodruff.
Judy Woodruff.
Judy Woodruff.
Judy Woodruff.
Good evening, I'm Judy Woodruff. Our mission is to give people the information they need to make informed decisions to go about their daily lives. I think it's critical, though, in the process that we in journalism are more transparent about the work that we do. That we say, we're reporting, here's the information we have at this moment, we're getting more information in all the time, and we'll tell you what we have. But that doesn't mean that we don't try very hard, day in and day out, to get it right. What we're in this to do is to inform people, to shine a light on the most important stories of the day, and to invite people to make up their own minds. There's an organization called the International Women's Media Foundation that a group of women journalists in Washington and New York and I were involved in, and we had organized an international conference for women journalists. Congratulations again to the IWMF. What a journey. Thank you to everybody who made it possible. I mean, our standards are supposed to be based in some semblance of fact or truth. I mean, our job is to report both sides of the story. Our freedom is worth fighting for. We are not fake news. That undermines the foundations of the role of a free press, and at the same time, it is a distraction from legitimate criticisms. We would not be the great country that we are, the democracy that we are, without the free press that we enjoy in the United States of America. Our work matters. It matters.
I would now ask Provost Gingerich and Grand Marshal to please escort Miss Judy Woodruff to the lectern.
Judy Woodruff, as a distinguished journalist and author, you have covered and reported on national news and politics for more than 4 decades at NBC, Bloomberg, CNN, and PBS. You earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Political Science from Duke University and have served as a visiting professor at its Sanford Institute of Public Policy and as a visiting fellow at Harvard University's Joan Shorenstein Center on the Press, Politics, and Public Policy. Your award-winning journalism career includes having served as White House correspondent for NBC News, chief Washington correspondent for PBS, an anchor of multiple television news programs, and your current role as anchor and managing editor of the PBS NewsHour. You are founding co-chair of the International Women's Media Foundation, an organization dedicated to promoting and encouraging women in journalism and communication industries worldwide. Among the many awards you have received during your distinguished career are the Radcliffe Medal, the Poynter Medal for Lifetime Achievement in Journalism, the Gwen Ifill Press Freedom Award from the Committee to Protect Journalists, and the Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism. You also received the Edward R. Murrow Lifetime Achievement Award in Television, the Gaylord Prize for Excellence in Journalism and Mass Communication, and were inducted into the Georgia Association of Broadcasters Hall of Fame. In recognition of your achievements, Montclair State University proudly bestows upon you, Judy Woodruff, the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
Well, thank you, President Cole. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the State of New Jersey and the Board of Trustees of Montclair State University, and upon the recommendation of the President and faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa, with all the rights, duties, privileges, and immunities thereunto appertaining, of which this diploma is the written witness.
Thank you, thank you. The first thing I have to say is all those hairstyles. Thank you very much to Vice Chair Dr. Cuss, to President Susan Cole, to trustees, administrators, faculty, parents, families, friends, and most of all, today's graduates. Good morning and congratulations. Now, I understand that many of you were asking for this ceremony to be even earlier in the morning, but that President Cole said, no, we want you to sleep in. What a beautiful performing arts center we are in. We have so much to be thankful for. I am honestly thrilled to be with you today to celebrate the achievement of each one of you who will be recognized for the hard work you put into earning this master's or this doctorate that you will be awarded today. And I'm going to let you in on a secret. This is the first time I've been asked to speak at a graduate school commencement, and it's intimidating. You see, I didn't earn anything beyond a bachelor's degree, so all of you are better educated. We should probably be doing this the other way around. You should be giving me advice. I'm also going to be candid. After yet another full week of breaking news in Washington, with the fight over the government shutdown and all the other squabbles, flying to New Jersey early Saturday morning wasn't my dream idea of how to spend the weekend. But President Cole's description that almost all of you graduates are the first in your families to achieve an advanced degree, and almost all of you have been working and caring for families while pursuing your studies, that was irresistible. You have worked this hard, how could I possibly say no? To top it off, President Cole sent me a photo album from last year's commencement. When I saw the huge smiles on the faces of those graduates and their families, I could tell this is a special place. And it is, as each of you already knows. Montclair State is a jewel of an institution. And as we just heard from Dr. Cuss, it was the first New Jersey State College to offer master's degrees, the first to offer a doctoral program at a senior public institution. It has received more special rankings over the years than I could possibly count, but probably nothing more important than being designated as a public research university and then a research doctoral university, recognizing the growth, impressive growth in your graduate programs. I was blown away to learn of the graduate studies that are offered at Montclair State. More than 130 degree programs, 60 certificates, teacher certifications, administrative and educational services certifications. The list is a long one. The bottom line, though, is that you have received a superb graduate education. As you step out into the world to join an accomplished alumni body, as one of your own press releases says, more than 130,000 Red Hawks working in virtually every profession across all 50 states and worldwide. I'm reminded of Dr. Seuss and one of his books with a message for young people who are just setting out. Some of you are not so young, but it still applies. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. That's, of course, from the Oh, the Places You'll Go, and I would add, oh, the contributions you will make. I'm here today with one main message to tell you that we need you. We need your brains, we need your talent, we need your willingness to work hard, and we need your values. We need you. We need each one of you to dedicate yourself to making your part of the world a better place. Whether you are in education or business or music, exercise science, child advocacy, speech language pathology, Spanish, chemistry, mathematics, information technology, sustainability, environmental science, that list goes on. You have the ability to make a difference in your profession and in the world. Why do we need you? Because for all the progress that our beloved country has made over its short life of 243 years, for all the good that people have created, we still have a way to go. We've traveled to the moon, and we've traveled outside the solar system. But we can't get rid of thousands of nuclear weapons that could destroy civilization as we know it. In fact, we're building more of them. We've made dazzling progress in medicine with discoveries like immunotherapy. But too many Americans don't have access to good health care that they can afford. We've built remarkable institutions of higher learning like Montclair State, but only 1/3 of Americans have earned a bachelor's degree, and 1 in 5 young people in this country don't even graduate from high school. As we just heard President Cole tell us, you are in a rarefied category. As she said, just 9% of Americans have a master's, fewer than 2% have a doctorate. We have passed laws in this country that make it illegal to discriminate against people on the basis of race or gender. Not yet everywhere on sexual orientation. But we still have members of Congress making statements about white supremacy that led just this week to a veteran congressman losing all of his committee assignments. And we are still in the riptide of the Me Too movement, wherein almost 50 years after the modern women's rights movement, we are still discovering women being harassed, molested, and even abused for daring to try to work in a profession dominated by men, like science or like television journalism, or choosing an occupation where women fill most of the jobs, like hotel housekeeper. And we've developed into a nation that is in many ways the envy of the world, a melting pot of people who came from somewhere else, across an ocean or a distant land. But we are right now trying to erect barriers to those who seek to come today for a better life for their families, for opportunity and for freedom that they don't have in their home countries. And even as we try to teach our children to treat others with respect, our political discourse has grown so coarse that we often want to cover their ears when they watch the news. So we have come a long way, but our work is not done. We have a long way to go, and we need each one of you, graduates today, to help us grapple with each of these challenges and so many more, to help us achieve that perfect union, as the preamble to our Constitution so aptly put it. I have no doubt that each of you can make a difference, because I think back to my own journey, and I know if I did it, you can too. Who would have thought that the daughter of 2 parents who never went to college, in my mother's case, did not even graduate high school, could be where I am today, reporting the news every day to millions of Americans? But I am, and so much of the credit goes to my mother, who loved me fiercely and told me constantly to get an education so that I could support myself. I can hear her now. Diapers and dishes can wait. She was my rock. And even though I had to borrow money and work part-time to pay for college, to take a second job while I worked as a secretary at a television news station, newsroom, my first job after college, I always felt her drive, her voice, telling me to keep going. Now, having said this, there's no way my mother could have known what the career that I chose, journalism, would be confronting today. We live at a time when the most powerful person in our government routinely calls the news fake and says most news reporters are enemies of the American people. Neither one is true. But it is not in our interest as journalists to get into a contest with the President of the United States, and it is not in the best interest of the American people either. The vast majority of journalists are driven to dig up the facts, to shine a light on problems and challenges in our society that need attention and need fixing, and to hold our public officials accountable. That's what our job is. And that's a good thing, because that's what the founders of the country envisioned. They wrote it into the First Amendment to the Constitution. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. The founders knew democracy thrives only when there is a free flow of information, when there are no constraints on what's reported. That means we in the press have an obligation to get our facts straight, to get it right, and that is something that is a never-ending challenge because we are imperfect. We do make mistakes. We can't possibly know all there is to know at a given moment about something, whether it's New Jersey's healthcare situation or President Trump's North Korea policy. But we have to keep on trying to get there and trying to bring our readers and our viewers along with us as we do. Because without information that we can count on to be right, we can't make the best decisions about our lives. None of us can. For our families, who and what to vote for, and all the decisions that come with being a citizen of the United States. So as you leave here today, focused on getting a job and making sure you can pay the bills, and I know you will all get a job. Two final thoughts. First, stay connected and give back. Most important, stay connected to your family. They know you best. They love you the most. Stay connected to your friends. They and your family will soothe your heart and cheer you on, and they'll count on you to do the same for them. And give back to your community, to your country, and to the world if you have the chance. Make time in your busy lives to volunteer, to lend a hand to those less fortunate. You are in a rare and rarefied group, and you do owe it to those who lent you a helping hand to pay it forward. And my second final thought has to do with Dr. Martin Luther King. The country remembers him with a federal holiday this coming Monday, a few days after his birthday, which fell this past week. I believe it is so important that even though he died 50 years ago, we remember what he accomplished in his short life. It's stunning to think he was only 39 when he died. It's so important to remember what he stood for, the very best of human nature, the dropping of racial barriers, the respect for one another no matter our background, that we judge one another not by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. We surely have not perfected that yet. For all the progress that's been made, and there's been some, there is still racism lurking in our schools and our workplaces and the places where we play. But by remembering Dr. King, we are called to honor his message and to live his values. And in looking over Montclair State's distinguished list of those who've received honorary doctorates over the years, I came across the name Bayard Rustin in 1968. He was a brilliant civil rights organizer, strategic thinker, and organizer of one of the earliest freedom rides, an advocate of nonviolent resistance, a close advisor to Dr. King. But he was pushed out of King's inner circle ultimately because he happened to be gay. When President Obama awarded Bayard Rustin the Medal of Freedom posthumously a few years ago, he said, "For decades, this great leader, often at Dr. King's side, was denied his rightful place in history because he was openly gay. No medal can change that. But today, we honor Bayard Rustin's memory by taking our place in his march toward true equality, no matter who we are or who we love. When Montclair State honored Bayard Rustin the very same spring that Dr. King was assassinated, I imagine it was a statement of support and acceptance that was well ahead of its time. And that is one more reason your degree from Montclair State is something to be proud of, a school that acts on its values. So whether you leave here today a doctor or a master, go with the assurance that you are well prepared to go out there, stand up for what you believe, and make a difference. Congratulations.